Dear delegates, welcome on board for the orientation program on Certified Supply Chain Management course. So before going to start the orientation, the formal orientation, just I would like to take a couple of minutes for introducing this organization and how the course will be administered. And after that, our one of the very core resource person for this course will be joining with us for enlightening ourselves regarding the insights of this course. What will be the benefits? What benefits you will receive from this course? That will be discussed by our resource person, Mr. Abdullah Masood. Before that, I'm just I will take around 6-7 minutes time for introducing this organization as well as the course administration procedure with you. So this is World Academy. World Academy is a UK-based organization. Our motto is shaping expertise, nurturing ambitions, and elevate your potential. So we are working globally, and we are ISO certified organization, ISO 21001, which is education management system. Our global affiliation, we are offering programs in 57 countries nowadays. Even it is more now, roughly it is 61, something like that. And we are the member of American Accreditation Association, triple A accreditation house in US. We're the member of them. We're the approved center by Cambridge Academy of Professionals UK, approved center by ProfQual UK, approved center by Board of HR Certification UK, and also approved provider of HRCIS, HRM, and HED, which are US-based organization. So most of our HR courses are being approved as a recertification point provider by these three giant HR certification bodies in the world. We are also accredited institute by International Professional Accreditation Council, which is a Singapore-based organization. And one of the very prestigious recognition from SHRM is they declared us as academically aligned institute. We're also partner for Singapore Training and Development Association, and we have partner institute, KPA specialist, and Academy of Business English and Communication. So this is our global affiliation for World Academy. And the course you have been enrolled for Certified Supply Chain Management Professional. That is a very impressive professional credential in the areas of supply chain management. And one of the very prominent course of World Academy. And this course is being recognized by Cambridge Academy of Professionals, which is an UK-based certification awarding body for professionals. This is basically a professional credential. And you can see this is a badge here in between. In the middle, there is a digital badge. This badge will be issued by Credly. You know, Credly is one of the very renowned digital badge issuer organization in the world, which usually issue digital badges for Project Management Institute, for Human Resource Certification Institute, for Society for HR Management. I mean, all the giant organizations in the world, they have agreement with Credly to issue the digital badge. And fortunately, we also could manage this agreement, and they also issue the badge for us. So at the end of this course successfully, you will receive a digital badge from Credly, which can be a proof for your credential. Anyone can verify that. The features, there will be 10 live sessions, 2 hours each, every Sunday, 8 to 10 p.m. Bangladesh time, which is 2 to 4 p.m. GMT. So the class will be there at 2 hours each for every Sunday, and total 10 weeks. But the course duration is 4 months, 16 weeks, because there will be a 1-2 weeks gap in between. There will be exams, and there will be a spacing for your capstone project submission. So altogether, the time frame is 4 months, which is 16 weeks. There will be in-session exercises. You need to submit the capstone project for this, and one final exam also. Why we should choose the CSCMP from World Academy? Because the course is being designed based on the job-oriented learning. It focuses on competency framework. extensive practice during the course. You will get different type of practices during this course. Simulation exercise you will need to do. You will be equipped with tools and formats and online live session. So there will be online live sessions, and there will be global resources, resource person from different countries. They will also be taking classes and connecting with you. That is the scoring framework for this course. The attendance having marks, 100 marks for 10 sessions. In-session activity, 200 marks. There will be a quiz test in between, which is 100 marks. There will be a final exam, which is 200 marks, and capstone project, 400 marks. So there will be 1,000 total, and the qualifying marks is 70%. It means 700. So you need to be a little bit of cautious about this for this assessment, because of to become certified, you need to qualify. There will be 10 sessions, 4 months duration, live online class, 2 hours, Sunday only, 8 to 10 p.m. Bangladesh time, 2 to 4 p.m. GMT. Exam will be also online, and you can interact with the instructor through learning management system, and live chat support will be there as well. And these are the modules that will be discussed by our resource person, Mr. Abdullah Al Masood, and he will talk on each and every module, what is the insight of this, what you will be learning from this. And the administration, the other part of this administration, you can attend the makeup exam free at cost. Suppose, as I told you, the final exam, there will be a final exam. So every exam will have another makeup exam. For any reason, any valid reason, and prior information, if you missed any exam or if you cannot qualify in the exam, you will be getting the chance to attend the makeup exam free at cost. And for any further attempt, after 2 attempts, if you require any more, you need to pay for the exam fee. Electronic certificate will be issued within 1 to 2 weeks time after the grades are published. Once your result is published, you will receive the electronic certificate and also the digital badge within 10 to 12, 13, 14 days time. And the printed certificate will take little time, around say 4 weeks to 6 weeks time for receiving this certificate, and for sending towards other countries like in South Sudan, Zambia, Sierra Leone. We usually send 3 times in a year, in April, in May, June, July, August, September, and in January. So these are the 3 times we usually send. If your course is result is published in between the the next schedule, your certificate will be sending in the next schedule, something like that. So that, but if anyone is becoming hurry to receive the printed certificate, you can, but you need to pay for courier service, because of we will be sending free at cost 3 times in a year. If you need within very shortest time, then you need to pay the courier fees, like DHL fees. There will be review and question answer session as well. In final assignment, you need to submit final exam. And one important issue is we cannot share the class recording with you. So the class will be recorded, but we cannot share the class recording due to the certificate body's compliance. However, there are, you can have the chance to interact with the instructor in the session, or even after the session through the learning management system. And class material will be shared within 1 to 2 days time. So if session is on Sunday, you will get the class material by Monday or hardly by Tuesday. Due to trainers' emergency, sometimes class may be postponed or rescheduled on the other week, not on the other day. So it will be on Sunday, but if any reason the class needs to be postponed or rescheduled, it will be on the next week, something like that. And another issue is there are 10 modules, but the class won't be conducted within the sequence of the module. Maybe 3rd module can be taken at the 2nd session, and 2nd module can be taken at the 5th session. That could be because of all the modules are independent modules. And all the materials will be shared through learning management system. We will upload the material in the system. You need to download from there. And please note, attendance will be recorded. So during the session, use your full name. Don't use the device name. That is very important again. So that's up to me from my side. I can see that Mr. Abdullah Al Masood, he is with us. So I want to hand over to him. He is very prominent resource person for supply chain management in country as well as in abroad. And he is with World Academy since long. And he is always very much cooperative with us. Whenever we call, he never say no to us. Thank you very much, sir, for your cooperation.
Thank you, Rupo.
You
It
can
was
proceed.
wonderful having you and introducing me in such a respective manner. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much for being there. So let's start the session. In the very beginning, I would like to have a quick glimpse of the entire supply chain. Then we will talk about the modules that we'll be covering. Yes, okay. So we'll start now, right? In that very note, let's see what we have to discuss, right? So let me start with an understanding of the supply chain. So in the very beginning, I would like to give you an understanding of the supply chain, why we are looking after supply chain. See, supply chain, we are talking about supply chain. We are always thinking what supply chain is. Some of us are having a complete idea of supply chain. Some of us are having a partial understanding of the supply chain. Some people are lacking the knowledge of the supply chain. Some people understands procurement to be the holistic supply chain. So let's see what really supply chain is. So in the very beginning, let me give you a quick glimpse of supply chain management. Then we'll be talking what are the courses we'll be covering and how we are proceeding. I believe that will help you guys, right? And surely it's okay to speak on whenever you feel like you need to talk to me, right? Okay, yes, no, what? Guys, are you there? It's making quick noise. Okay, okay, great. Excellent. It's good to hear you guys because when we are talking, it's not a one way, it should be a two-way one. Fine. So let's start with the thing. So in the very beginning, I would like to make a quick understanding of supply chain management. While we are talking about understanding of supply chain management, let put this thing in a very practical manner. See, we need to have a quick chat in between us. If anyone can say what we are looking into the things, we are looking into some of the picture. You can see the picture, yes? Are you looking at picture and you can see the picture? Yes, no, what? Yes, no,
Yes,
what? Yes. So what it is, can someone explain what you are looking at?
someone buying some t-shirt and paid something. Someone taking photo of t-shirt. Someone a smart touch screen.
Yeah, it's good. Good, good. Any other views? Anyone would like to add anything with it? Anyone? Anything? Nothing. What? Okay, so let's take his verse. What already who was speaking there? Humayun Moshad. Humayun Moshad, thank you very much that you have narrated some of the things. So looking into the picture, we will get to see this is basically a clothing store, right? That means
Yeah.
there are clothing which are people are buying and selling, right? And in the last phase, we can see one customer is taking a piece of the t-shirt to the counter, and he intend to buy this thing. What happens when he intend to buy this thing? The customer take the t-shirt to the sales counter. Shopkeeper, this is the shopkeeper, check the stock and pack it in a shopping bag. Excuse me. Here ends the activity of the supply chain. So where does the supply chain starts? Far from Middle East, we are seeing that there is a Middle East country, right? Far from Middle East, the country, the Bangladesh, our country, is receiving an order from the Middle East country. So why Bangladesh taking an order? Because Bangladesh is the second largest RMG sector in the globe. And generally, we produce a lot of RMG, ready-made garments, right? So they have taken an order from this Middle East country, and the demand supply planning, they started working on the factory. The factory who took the order, they started doing the demand planning and the supply planning back to back. Then the supply execution, they started. Planning means they are planning how to handle demand, how to handle the supply. Then execution means they started doing the activity. That means they started producing the things in the factory, then they sent it through a carrier to the seaport, and then loaded in the seaport to sell the product to the customers in, that is in Dubai. Dubai, it has been unloaded, then it's been inspected, then the custom clearance done, then it is went to the factory of the factory of what? Factory of the customer. So this is the point of origin, and so it is the point of origin. That means where the things started, and this is the point of consumptions. That means where the things ended. So we can say supply chain basically connecting what? Connecting what?
Each other.
Connecting in the perspective of this point. Can tell me connecting point of
Connecting from the point of origin to point of consumption.
consumption. Brilliant, very good. So we can say supply chain is making products and services available from the point of origin to point of consumption. So that is what supply chain is in a very simplistic manner. But the whole activity is very complex. If we see, we are connecting point of origin to point of consumption. That means we are making products and services available from the point of origin to point of consumptions. But within the thing, we are taking the entire activity, which is basically not a very simplistic task. It's a holistic work. So let's see how this point of origin and how this point of consumptions are connected in a very what I will say, in a realistic example. We can see some trees. You can see some trees. Yes, no, what?
Yes.
Okay. Humayun Morshed is only looking into the trees. And what about others? Mr. Yusuf, he can see it, right? Aminuddin, are you seeing it?
Yes,
Okay.
this is Yusuf. Just I'm in a meeting over there. So
Okay.
just I'm hearing, please.
No problem. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so I believe the other are also looking into the things. So let's be very
Yes, we're looking.
yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Good, great. So we are looking some trees. That means this is a resembling of a jungle from where the woods are coming in. Why the woods are required? Woods are required for the furniture making, right? So let's take, we are a furniture making factory. So we have our supplier. This is S1, that means tier 1 supplier. Tier 1 supplier means our core supplier or our main supplier. We do have our tier 2 supplier, who is the supplier's supplier. And in many of the cases, we have tier 3 supplier. In some of the cases, we do have tier 4 supplier as well. So this is the tier 3 supplier who is basically cutting wood from the jungle. And that stems are delivered to the sawmill, the tier 2 supplier. This sawmill are now making the wood planks for making furniture. That means which is suitable for making furniture, and they are delivering this to the tier 1 supplier. Tier 1 supplier is a global supplier or one of the supplier who is bringing off the wood planks from various sawmills and delivering to various corporate house or various factories. This factory is now taking this as a raw material and making the furniture in a what I will say, in a semi-finished manner. Is finished for them, the furniture, and then sending it to the distribution center of them, right? That means they are making the finished goods like dinner table, chairs, tables, beds, and other office furnitures, home decor furnitures, everything they are producing, and they are sending it to the distribution center. From this distribution center, it is going to their own stores, the other people's stores, and then the consumers are reaching it through the stores. That means this is the point of origin and this is the point of consumption. So we can see the holistic picture of one of the things. We can take any example like mining a product and then getting it to the factory and then delivering the final product to the customers or consumers, right? So we can be very clear from this part that the connection of point of consumption, point of origin to consumption, right? Yeah, okay. Yes, I guess so, right?
Right.
Yeah. Good, great, excellent.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. So flow of supply chain management. So understanding supply chain, to understand the supply chain, we need to know the flow of supply chain management. Why? Because the concept of supply chain started looking at to the flow of supply chain management. What is the flow of supply chain management? When the concept started, it was seen the material flow, the money flow, the flow of information and reverse logistic. These are being handled by a chain, and which is very what I will say cumbersome work. And this is how the supply chain concept started taking place. So let's see the flow of supply chain. We have seen tier 1 supplier, tier 2 supplier, they are dependent on tier 2 supplier. Maybe they have tier 3 and tier 4 supplier. Then it comes to the manufacturer, then distributor, retailer, and to the end customer. We have seen what are the flows are maintained in between here? There are material flow. That means raw materials to semi-finished to finished goods material, right? This material flow is going from the supplier sent to the manufacturer, to the distributor, to the retailer, to the consumer. That is, we are having a material flow which is going from leftward to rightward, from supplier end to the consumer end, right? From point of origin to point of consumption. We do have reverse material, reverse logistic flow or return material. See that furniture the customer purchased found defective. What they will be doing? They will be returning the product. Same way, if the distributor see the furniture are not in a good quality, they will be also returning it to the factory. If the factory see the raw material delivered by the supplier, they will be returning them. If the supplier wants to see the good product they receive from the sawmill is not good enough, they will be returning. So there is a reverse chain as well. That means there is a forward flow of material, which is from suppliers end to the consumers end. There is a reverse flow or a return flow of material from the end customer's end to the supplier's end. Right or wrong? Understandable? Yes, no? Agreed? Disagreed?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, man.
Good. So there is also a flow, which is a money flow or cash flow. Customer pay to the retailer, retailer pay to the distributor, distributor pay to the manufacturer, manufacturer pay to their suppliers, suppliers pay to their suppliers, suppliers pay to their second tier supplier, also pay to the aboriginal or original supplier. That means there is a flow of money as well. So you can see the arrow here, which is forward flow, the return flow, which is a reverse flow, the money flow is also a reverse flow, right? Human motion. And
Yes,
we have Human Motion, any questions? Or
No.
it's a noise, right? Okay. So, and there is a flow of information which goes both way. How it is going both way? Let's see. Let's take an example. There is a faulty product. So the customer will be reporting to the retailer will be reporting to the distributor, manufacturer will get to know the same thing, suppliers will get to know the same thing as well, right? That means this is a informations of a quality or something which are not matching is going the reverse way, right? At the same time, some informations are also sent from the supplier's end towards the consumer's end. How it is done? Suppose there is a government embargo, government embargo for on cutting woods or on cutting trees, and government said that there will be there will be no entry in the jungle for next 2 months, and people will not be allowed to cut any trees. There could be something like that. So this supplier will be telling the sawmill supplier, the sawmill will be telling this to the manufacturer, manufacturer will be telling the distributor. The same information will pass down to the consumer that yes, we cannot provide you any material because of this government embargo. They will also communicate this to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will be telling the distributor, yes, we will not be able to provide you anything in the next 2 months. If you want, you can take right now. The distributor will be telling the retailer, okay, fine. If you want to make a stock of the product, you can stock this product immediately because there will be a crisis and demand supply crisis in between coming in. Sometimes in future, the retailer will also be telling the end customer who is their loyal customer. Suppose there is the office furniture, there are some corporate customers are there for the retailer who they deliver the office furniture, and it is a necessary things always needed. They will be telling the same things to their customers. So this is how the information flows go in both the way, right? Okay. Yep. Got it. No. Understanding. Not understanding. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's understand supply chain took place not just like it boomed here. It started taking place after having an evolution, that it evolved over the time, over the years. So from 1996 to 2000, we can see supply chain evolved as a supply chain function. Before that, it was not like supply chain didn't exist, right? Okay. In 1996, the idea came in MIT, the university, MIT, that there is a how they started. The J. Foster is one of the professor. He started looking into the thing, the flow of material, manpower, equipment, cash are moving in, and there is a chain who is taking care of this activity. And he started identifying the idea of supply chain, right? Looking into the flow of the thing that we have just discussed previously. In 1980s, that means in 1982, early 1980s, the name appeared in a literature, in a Financial Times magazine. One of the interview was published by Keith Oliver, who is basically a logistician and a consultant. He first took the name supply chain in that interview. In late 1980s, which is in 1988, P&G and Walmart, they started operating in a supply chain, started the supply chain operation, which is one part of the supply chain at that moment, which is replenishment goods or refilling the goods. What is a replenishment goods? Just let me tell you. So replenishment, sorry for the interruption. So replenishments of goods, that means refilling the goods. They used to ensure the shelf of the supermarkets are never been empty. So they used to refill the shelf of the supermarket, so their products is always full in the shelf. And the shelves are full means the customers are never been rejected. So they started practicing this thing. In 1990s, the definition came in the academics. In the first described the supply chain in a clarity. That means MIT, Stanford University, MIT, Stanford, and some other flocked together, and they started using the supply chain concept as an academic understanding, right? In late 1990s, which is 1997, the widespread adoption started in supply chain. But this adoption didn't took like suddenly. There was a association which formed in place to take care of this thing. PRTM and AMR, these are the two big research institute or consulting firms, research and consulting organizations. They, along with 50 other manufacturers, made a council named Supply Chain Council, and they started introducing the SCORE model or supply chain operational reference model in the industry, and working on that thing. And in 2000, supply chain evolved, right? You got the essence how supply chain evolved over the year. Yes, no, what? Got it? Guys, are you with me?
Got it.
Yes. Okay, fine. So let's see. We have seen the evolution of supply chain from nothing to supply chain, but the supply chain functions or the activity, the procurement activity or the purchasing activity. We can see the purchasing activity is a activity of supply chain. Warehousing activity is one of the activity of supply chain. Distribution is one of the activity of supply chain. Transport management. But these were existing long before, right? This was not like newly invented. This was long before existing. So supply chain clustered some of the function as a total supply chain. That means let's see what are the functions were there and how this became a supply chain function. In 1990s, 1960s, the fragmented information, the fragmentation was there. Like silo-based information was there. Demand forecasting, sourcing planning, requirement planning, production planning, manufacturing inventory, warehouse, material handling, packaging, goods inventory, distribution planning, order processing, transportation, customer service. Every activity were there. But none of this activity had a handover takeover or handshaking in between them. So in 1980s, the consolidation started. That means the dependency between the functions was felt to be aligned to was the need for alignment was felt, and then they started working like demand forecasting, planning, and sourcing. See, if we have a demand forecasting, on that very basis we go for production planning, then we go for while we are going for production planning, then we need to plan for material planning, and then we need to purchase the material, and then we do for production. So these are the functions which are interrelated. So what really happened? Demand forecasting, sourcing and purchasing, requirement planning or material requirement planning, production planning, and manufacturing inventory, all this clustered together and became material management, right? And warehouse, material handling, packaging remaining same. And in the other phase, if we have a customer order, then we look for whether we can cater the customer order with our inventory. Then we manage our ordering processing plan, distribution processing plan. Then we do the transportation, and we ensure customer service post or pre-service. So goods inventory, distribution planning, order processing, transportation, and customer service. All this again clustered together and became physical distribution. So we can see material management and physical distribution. What is material management? Means inbound logistic. That means logistic. That means raw materials and other auxiliary products are brought into the factory for production. So this is inbound logistic. And finished goods are made and delivered to the customers. That means outbound logistics. So from here we can see material management, which is the MM module of SAP, and physical distribution, which is the SD module of SAP. If you use SAP, then these are the inbound logistic and outbound logistic. In between, we have warehouse, material handling, and packaging. So in 1990s, the integration started, and the integrated as a logistic. The entire box was clocked into a logistic function. But this logistic function was not sufficiently enough for serving the entire organization, because it is having a lot of functions, but all these functions are very big to handle and very, very what I will say, critical to handle in one umbrella or under the supervision of one supervisor, right? So in 2000, the value capturing started. That means supply chain took part. This logistic became supply chain accumulating information technology. That means the need for informations or the versatile requirement for informations like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, these kind of ERP-based in technological information are needed to be there. Why? Because you are managing such a big function, but you don't know what is your inventory right now at this moment. If we do not know what is our inventory, we cannot sell, we cannot buy, we cannot produce. If we do not know what has been produced, then we cannot make a decision what need to be bought, what need to be sold. So if we do not have an clear understanding what is in the purchase process or in transit, we do not know whether we will be taking preparation for production or sales. So everything is interrelated. So these information needed to be real time. That's why information technology started taking place in supply chain, and ERP like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, the lead ERPs are on, and a lot of ERPs are on. Marketing and sales was needed to be in the first phase of the supply chain. That means demand planning is need to be in the very beginning, so that we have the focus information. On that very basis, if we need to sell this quantity, then we need to produce this quantity. Then for producing this quantity, we need to procure this quantity. To at the same time, we need to make arrangement of distributing this quantity. So we need this kind of transportation to deliver. So these are all things are coming on the basis of what we need to sell, or what is our demand, or what is our focus. So marketing and sales being a partnering organization here, and strategic planning took place. That means supply chain having a big chunk of activity started taking place in the C-suite or in the strategic planning role. That means supply chain leads are now being becoming the leaders of the organizations or one of the leader of the organizations or CSCO position, that means Chief Supply Chain Officer, so that they can give informations to the board that what should be our strategic plan, and if how we can align our organization's plan, our strategic plan, our functional plan all together. And finance is one of the important things because supply chain is all about cost and cost optimization, making organization profitable, making organization competitive and efficient. So financial evaluations like ratio analysis and cost-based analysis and cost-benefit analysis are needed in every phases in supply chain. So this is how supply chain evolved over the year from 1966 to 2000, and then it became the holistic supply chain, right? Got it? Are you getting it? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, good, great. So we have got an idea, supply chain, historical things. We are learning how supply chain is. Now you can say anyone, yeah, we know what supply chain is, how it is coming in, and when it derived, how it's started working, right? We can say that. Yes, no, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, of course.
Good, great. So we'll be now talking about the SCORE model, which is supply chain supply chain operational reference model, which is one of the important model we need to understand. This identifies the competitiveness of an organization, how the organization is performing, how their suppliers and their customers are performing, and how there is a link in between. So see, in the very beginning, we have talked about the furniture manufacturing. Just keep that in mind. So supply chain operational reference model is one of the model we have already spoken that it was developed by Supply Chain Council, but along with EPICS, it clustered together, and then it started taking place in the global organizations as a competitive model. So what it is, this is our organization where we plan what we will do. Plan is what we plan, what we need to procure, what we need to make, what we need to deliver, what we need to return. These are the plannings are done in the planning phase. So if we the furniture manufacturing again, excuse me. So we need to source our raw material like our wood planks from our tier one supplier. This tier one supplier is the sawmill. What they do, they have their plan, source, make, deliver, return. So they source it from their woodcutter or the people who are going to the jungle and cutting the woods. So they do not have their entire organization. So what they do, they cut the woods, they deliver and return. That means they only deliver to the sawmill. They do not have a production plan, and they take return if there is any fault. So this sawmill, what they're doing, they have plan on that very basis. They source it from several woodcutters or several people who are cutting woods and delivering. Then if they find any problem, they return the product and they make like wood planks from the wood stem, and then they deliver to us and several other factories like us. And if there is any complaint from us, they take return. What we do, we plan what we need to produce, how much to buy, then we source from our sawmills like this one or several sawmills. Then we give return if there is any problem. We make the furniture, we deliver it to our customers, which is a furniture manufacturer, which may be another furniture manufacturing company. Let's suppose we are making the table, and this furniture manufacturing company, this final customer of ours, not a final one, the next phase customer are making the tabletop of a glass top or a marble top. We are making chair, they are cushioning the chair. This could be done in this phase. So we're delivering to our several other companies like this, and they do have their plan. On that very basis they source, they give return. If there is any faulty products given by us, we take return from there as well. They make the products like cushioning the chair or making tabletops, and they deliver to the customers. And the customers do not have any other activity. They only source the product or buy the products. If there is any problem, they return the product. So this is the holistic supply chain. That means from suppliers to customers, customer or consumers, point of origin and point of consumption. Now we can relate the point of origin and point of consumption in a very clean method, right? Wrong? What? Yeah? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. So introducing SCORE model metrics, we excuse me. sorry, introducing score model performance metric. Score model is very much concerned about the performance metrics that is within the system. So it is looking into the reliability, responsiveness, agility, cost, and asset management aspects. That means while we are maintaining score model, we are basically looking into the performance of our reliability. What is a reliability performance? Reliability means we are reliable enough to deliver on time, right quantity at the right quality to our customer, right? So reliability performance is basically a customer focus attribute. That means we are focusing customer and we are trying to make our customers satisfied as per their expectations. So here our KPI or key performance indicator is to make a perfect order fulfillment. That means we are fulfilling our order towards our customers. Responsiveness is another attribute, that is a customer focus attribute. Through this, what we are planning to do, we are trying to have a cycle time matrix. That means our cycle time has to be a shortened one. That means our score KPI is to order fulfillment cycle time. We have an order and we are trying to fulfill the order in a minimum time taken, least time taken. So this is the responsive aspects. The agility is another customer focus attribute. So this is another, the three metrics we have seen: reliability, responsibility, and agility. All three are customer focus attribute. That means we are trying to make the customer satisfied. Customer centricness is there. So external influence included here, non-forecastable increase or decrease in demands are handled. Agility means we are flexible enough to handle customers' sudden demand expansions or shrinkage of demand. Any changes suddenly required, we are strong, we are agile enough, flexible enough to handle these things. So these three are basically customer focus attribute. Cost and asset management are two other attributes or two other metrics of score model, which are basically internal focus attribute. That means to make the organization efficient, these two attributes are maintained, or metrics are maintained to make the organization efficient and effective. So cost is internal focus attribute. Typically, cost includes labor cost, material cost, transportation cost. So the KPI is to optimize cost or total cost to serve. So that means cost, in this cost, we are managing cost or we are optimizing cost. This is one of the core concept, which is a internal focus attribute. That means we are making our organizations competitive enough, efficient enough to perform. Asset management is another performance metrics, which is internal.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, please, Soman.
Can we get some what is called like, for example, can you get some example to get the detail from this first three topics?
For this one,
Yes,
5-1.
yeah, first three topics. So for some, can you get some example?
Surely, I will give you.
Yeah.
Sure. Let me
Thank
complete the asset one, then I will give all 5 examples one by
Okay,
one.
thank
So
you.
that
Thank you,
have
sir.
a clear idea. Thank you for asking. Good one. Thank you. So asset is another internal focus attribute. What it is looking for: inventory days of supplies, capital utilization. These are the things we are looking into asset management. So here's the score KPI is cash to cash cycle time, return of fixed asset, asset management efficiency. So these are the things as per Murshid is asking for. So let's give an example. While we have talked about reliable, who is a reliable supplier to you? The supplier, yes, Mr. Murshid, please come on. Who is a reliable supplier to you? The supplier who can deliver you on time? Yes, right?
Yes, of course, deliver on that level.
So the right quantity, right quality, that means we have to analyze the supplier. If end of the year, we evaluate our supplier and see we have 100 supplier and 80 of them are not on time, are not capable of delivering on time, right quantity and right quality. Maybe they have missed many of the goals of delivering this thing.
Right.
That's one thing. This is how you're evaluating the suppliers in the reliability aspects, right? Got it?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Fine. In the same way, excuse me, responsiveness are measured. That means customer focus, cycle time metrics, order fulfillment. We had given an order to the suppliers, and the suppliers delayed in many of the cases, or every time we have given a purchase order with a delivery date of 7 days from the delivery of purchase order. The supplier always been delivering with beyond the scheduled date, that means 7 days or 10 days or 9 days. So you can see how responsive they are, or maybe they're responsive enough, they have delivered within the scheduled time or more before the 7th day or within the 7th day. So this is how we do this metrics, right? End of the year, we need to evaluate the suppliers on the basis of their performance. Then we can identify if the score performance mode metrics are working. At the same time, we are also being evaluated by whom? Our clients, right? We are evaluating whom? Our suppliers. We have already seen this chain, right? Yeah, Monsha?
Right.
Same way, agility is one of our attribute. That means we have, for example, we are the garments manufacturer. We have our customers order, and the customers are having 5 orders a year. Sorry, let's see, we have one big client who is giving 20 to 12 orders a year. For example, each month there is their order, and the styles are varying, the size are varying, the total things are becoming different all the time. How efficient we are managing that as per their expectation within the time, as per their expectation, how efficiently we can manage the quantity that has been increased or decreased, the style been changed or been managed. So how efficient we are, they will be evaluating us. At the same time, we will be also evaluating our suppliers on the same basis, right? So agility in this aspects, right? How flexible we are to adapt the things. If there is a crisis as well, in the crisis, what you see, which supplier is good enough to handle this crisis? For example, there is a flood in the city or in the country, and you cannot stop the operation because all the areas are not flooded and the operations are going on in some way. So you need to see which supplier is good enough or capable enough to handle this scenario, even though there is some handicap scenario, right? Got it? Prashant? Getting it? Okay.
Good.
No, I will. Okay. So the cost is internal focus attribute. That means we have to be very efficient in handling cost, and we need to manage the cost. And asset management means our current asset or fixed asset. Current asset is our cash, our inventories, and fixed asset means our machineries. How good we are handling these things, or our suppliers are handling this thing, right? So we got a text from one of our MA Yusuf, who is who want to know the CSCM. So just a minute, we are going to that thing. Just give me 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, we'll be there, right? Okay. So supply chain management functional model, if you see the functional models of supply chain are different in the different industry. In Coca-Cola, we have second tier, first tier supplier, second tier supplier delivering like flavor, colors, and other things. The first tier suppliers are providing the Coca-Cola syrups, and the manufacturer is producing this thing from them. Second tier supplier providing water and carbon dioxide because it's the carbonated drinks. The second tier suppliers are giving the glass supplies and aluminum for making the bottles and cans, and then it's going to the manufacturing. Then it goes to the warehouse and distributions like retailers and vending machines to the customers. So this like Coca-Cola. This is the flow of what Walmart. Walmart, how they are doing. They have manufacturer, they have distribution center from all the manufacturers. They do not produce, they collect and distribute, and then they collect and they bring it to their hub, and then they distribute to the retail stores. There is an iPhone manufacturing process which is completely different from others. There's one of the company like named Foxconn, which is a Taiwanese company, and having their production plant in Shenzhen, China, and India recently, and bringing supplies from all over the world from 33 countries and delivering to the globe, assembling this and delivering to the globe. California, USA is the main corporate house of iPhone. What they're doing, they're just doing the research and analysis and the marketing plan. That's it. So we can see supply chain can be very different, and we can see that if you look into the global CEOs, there are global CEOs like Tim Cook of Apple. He's from supply chain. We have Mary Barra from the chairman and CEO of General Motors. She's from supply chain background, and she developed the supply chain of General Motors in a drastical manner. We can see that Douglas Macmillan. He's the CEO of Walmart, and he is from supply chain background, and he developed the supply chain of Walmart in a very efficient manner. CEO from Brian Prezenich, the CEO of Intel Corporation. He's with a supply chain background, as well as he developed the supply chain of Intel. Alan Mulally, CEO of Ford, he is from supply chain background and also contributed to the company in supply chain development. David Taylor, he's also the former CEO of P&G, Procter & Gamble, and he's from supply chain background and also developed the supply chain in a greater manner. There's another former CEO of P&G. He's AJ Lefty. He's also from supply chain background, right? So we can see the global CEOs are a lot of global CEOs are coming from supply chain background. The last one, the Mark Parker, the CEO of Nike. He is also from supply chain background, and he developed the supply chain of like very robust manner, right? Yep. So just a glimpse of the supply chain, understanding the supply chain, importance of supply chain. Let's see what we have in this course. In this course, we have 10 modules. And yes, guys, are you with me? Okay.
Yes.
I went very fast.
Yes.
Okay, good. I went very fast in the last because Mr. Yusuf, I mean, Yusuf, you wanted to have a quick view on these things. So let us get into this thing. Okay, Mr. Yusuf, I mean, Yusuf, yes.
Sound is not clear. We are not getting you.
So this for you have given a basic understanding of supply chain today. Having a be confident supply chain is business competitiveness to some. Hello.
Yes, sir. It's clear now.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. I was suddenly there was an interruption. So in module 1, we have understanding of supply chain, which is you have got a glimpse of the understanding of supply chain, and the understanding of supply chain in a very depth manner we will be talking in our session. And we will, after completing this understanding of supply chain, I'm sure, I'm confident enough that you will be able to speak that yes, we know supply chain, we know its history, we know it, how it evolved, we know the importance and how it is impacting. So you will get to have this thing. The second one, the business competitiveness through supply chain. Supply chain, business competitiveness through supply chain is an interesting part. Why? Supply chain is a very big function. Do you agree or disagree? We have already seen how many functions clustered together to become supply chain, right? Yes? No?
Yes.
So if one organization wants to be competitive, they need to be very competitive in their buying process. They need to be very competitive in their warehouse management and inventory management process. They need to be very competitive in their production operation process, where they need to be very competitive enough. They need to be very competitive in their distribution management process, in their transportation management process, in their return management process, in their customer delivery process. So this is such big function where business competitiveness is required. Supply chain efficiency and supply chain lean supply chain need to be there. So this is one of the things what you will get to see with a lot of examples and other things, right? In the session supply chain modeling, we will get to see supply chain is we have already given a glimpse that you have seen supply chain like Walmart, supply chain like P&G, supply chain like iPhone, Coca-Cola, all are very different. Yes, no, right?
Yes.
Yeah. supply chain will be very different on the basis of their effectiveness and their responsiveness. So on the basis of effectiveness and responsiveness, there are different supply chain. There are 6 type of supply chain. 3 of them are responsive, 3 of them are effective. So we will get to see those things and how to model your supply chain based on what product you're working, which industry you're working in, what is the trend of the things. So a lot of things need to be considered. We will get to learn that thing in supply chain modeling. Linking the customer demand and management. See, here linking the, Mohammed Karma, would you like to speak anything? I think. Mohammed Kamara, want to speak anything? Any questions, comments?
No.
Okay, no, fine. So it's a noise. So linking customers demand management. Demand management means demand is whose part and supply is whose part. Demand is customer's part and supply is whose part. Who is responsible for supply? The supplier is responsible for supply, right? So we are looking at demand management. That means customers' demand, which is being conveyed to the supply chain as a forecast. And this, in the very beginning, I have shown you in the supply chain management from the point of origin, demand planning and supply planning. That means demand management, linking customer, what our customers is asking for, what is the demand, how do we cater the demand, how to measure the demand, what is the perfect way of measuring and forecast, how the forecast can be accurate. So these are the things we will be learning in this module. Managing the supplier base, procurement, and supply chain management. So managing supplier base means our supplier base, how it should be, our technical supplier, our strategic supplier, our operational supplier, how do we manage those? How we focus on the core of the suppliers, whether in which of the suppliers we focus on more, in which of the suppliers we give less focus on. How do we manage our procurement and our sourcing activity, our supply management, how our suppliers can be developed, they're managed, they're evaluated. So these things will be coming in. No, sorry, the evaluation and other things will be coming in a later stage. So a lot of things of the supplier space are coming in. The warehouse and inventory management is a very important part. Warehouse is holding your stocks, and inventory management is managing your inventory or stocks. So how efficiently we are doing this? One thing you can say, you can see very clearly that a company is having 60 to 80% spendings. A company is having 60 to 80% spendings, which is a procurement spendings. This procurement spendings by natural in turns become a raw material or semi-finished products and goes to the warehouse. So warehouse and inventory management is a vital part. If we are unable to manage our inventory in a very efficient manner, if we have stacked in inventory or we have shortfall inventory, in both the ways we are making a big loss for the organizations. So organizational efficiency management, organizations competitiveness, everything depends. A lot of things are depending on this warehousing and inventory management. So this is very vital to understand. Logistic distribution, transport management, you know what it is. We will be seeing logistic activity of an organization, distribution and transport management, how we can do that, how efficiently we can map the transportations, the routing process, which modality of the transport to be used, how the distribution channels to be made, whether this will be a direct channel, indirect channel, or a hybrid channel, which channel will be using, the inbound logistic and outbound logistic, how to manage these things. This will be covered in this area. Cost optimization in supply chain management. See, I have already spoken. Maximum spendings of an organization are done in a supply chain management. That means if you talk about a cost that organization incurred, other than paying the salary of the employees and some other overheads, maximum spends are the supply chain spends. So cost optimization is one of the core thing in supply chain. Supply chain is synchronized in such a way that it can focus very very strongly and robustly on cost optimization. So we will be seeing how this can be done and how this process is working on. Measuring supply chain performance, we have already seen the metrics of the supply chain in a in a quick glimpse, where we have seen the responsibility and responsiveness, the agility, cost and asset management. This is how we will be seeing the key performance indicator, KPI, how we can have CSF, that is critical success factor. From the CSF, how KPI or key performance indicator can be paged out, and through that how we can measure the performance of each of the suppliers, each of the functions of our organizations, right? And in the last one, supply chain risk management. Supply chain risk management and sustainability is one of the core nowadays, because supply chain risk management, there are a lot of, since almost all the transactions are happening over supply chain. That means in supply chain function, almost all the transactions are happening, like financial transaction, like material handling. We have seen the flows of cash, flows of material, flows of reverse logistic, a lot of transaction happening, and maximum risk of the organizations for failure and getting doomed and being having corruptions and other things are there. So how to handle those things will be spoken in this area. So we have 10 modules, and I have given a very quick glimpse what will be covered. So that's it from my part. I am opening the floor for questions, comments, sessions, if there is any. Yes, let me know. Okay. Come on. Anything from your part? Questions, comments, sessions, anything? By the way, just let me know first whether the total presentation that I have given today was understandable, whether I was fast, whether I was slow, whether I was understandable, whether I was speaking sense, nonsense. Just let me know first.
No,
Yes,
it was good.
this is Yusuf. I heard all your speech throughout in a meeting. I think your speech is very nice and politely you present the about the all the issues. So it is in a nutshell, I can say it is very effective and efficient presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. So good. What about others? You're okay with what I have delivered? If it is, then let me know in this very phase. We may have some questions. We may have some queries. May have some interest to know the other things, or we may have something in our going in our mind. Just speak out.
Yes,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
one of
The presentation was okay, but yeah, you are a little bit fast, a little, but everything was okay. It was
Oh,
well understandable.
thank you. I take it as a very good note. I will be very slow in the delivery, surely. We have some time constraint, and we can see that it's a quickly scheduled one. That's why I was a bit fast. In generally, I don't go fast, but thank you very much for your feedback. It's a wonderful feedback for my what I will say development, that I will take it as a note, and I will be a bit slower. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
yes,
The,
sir.
the module
Sir,
will be, hello,
Yes.
go first.
We're listening.
Module will be shared, no?
Sorry.
Module will be shared to us, no?
All the modules that will be shared to us, shared to you. The first thing, the thing that I am presenting is just a
It was
introductory
good.
thing.
It was
So,
really good, and it was very understandable.
okay, great. Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you will get everything other than this slide. This slide is a combination of the entire supply chain, which I give as a introductory note. So all these things, all the materials you will get to find in your sessions in a distorted manner. In procurement, you will get to find something. In your warehouse management, you will get to find something. All these things will be there, but is there some of things which I don't share, because this what I will say is an introductory speech, something like that, right? Okay. Okay. Okay
yes, sir.
then. Good. Great.
Sir,
Yeah.
we have some comments in our chat box. Mr. Human Murshid said it was good, and Hafizur Rahman said thanks, and other one said it was a fruitful session. So,
Great.
sir, very thankful for your session. And one thing, we start our regular session at uh, 18th February. As this is our introductory session, that's why we don't provide any material, but we provide the pre-course assignment tomorrow or one day back, inshallah. And our humble request, we already shared the flyer. If you feel the session is worthy for you, please share the flyer in your social media. Thanks everyone, and thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your nice session.
Oh, thank you so much for being there. Thank you, all the participants. They were very patient. They were waiting there and they had good questions as well. Thank you for being there. Take care. Bye bye. We'll be meeting again. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Good night.
Good night.